Well, she is a black entrepreneur, and she is doing the thing. I love this Detroit story about her journey and where it is taking her. Naila Ellis of Ellis Island Tea joins us this morning here at the Michigan Chronicle. Thank you so much for being here in Studio 1452.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So I was reading somewhere where you said that you describe yourself as the largest black female beverage manufacturer in the United States.
Yes, that is correct. I know that's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful, but it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
How do you take on this, where you are right now, an exciting growth for your business? It's an awesome Detroit story.
Yeah, it's still somewhat unreal.
Yeah.
I still have my moments where I don't believe it.
Yeah. I gotta like pinch yourself.
Yeah, but it's happening. It's happening. Very exciting times.
Yeah. So you started the business in 2008.
Yep.
And that was a journey in itself. I'm sure you had your hurdles, but then you came across this opportunity with Kevin Hart. Yes, comedian Kevin Hart, for some of you who perhaps haven't heard this story, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But walk me back through what was a family recipe, and for big family gatherings and holidays, everyone would talk about the tea, right? But certainly it goes back because it has a history that started with your great grandfather. Talk about that.
Yep. So my great grandfather was a Jamaican immigrant who came into America through Ellis Island in the early 1900s.
Right.
And he was a chef for Marcus Garvey's Black Star Line. And he would make this recipe abroad the ships. And he had a saying, or the last thing he said was that this recipe was to be sold and not told, which means put it on the market. Yeah. And so it feels really good to be able to carry on the family legacy. And I literally started by selling tea from a cooler out the trunk of my car. I would brew tea every night and then wake up in the morning and load up my cooler, put some ice on it, and drive around the city of Detroit. And wherever I saw people, I would get out and try to sell it. I made most of my money in a Home Depot parking lot on 7 Mile in Myers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever reminisce about those times when
Yeah.
Home Depot parking lot, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And to go from that to this, that's the part that's still unreal to me. Yeah. But sometimes when I go, when I swing by that Home Depot, to this day, there's always at least one person that's like, they'll keep staring, and it's that thought of, I know her from somewhere. Yeah. And then they'll eventually come up and they'll say, this may sound crazy, but are you the girl that used to sell tea in the parking lot? And then it'll be like, yeah, that's me. And I get really excited and just talk about how they used to buy the tea from me, and they're just so proud of how I've evolved.
Yeah, I think we all should be proud of you and what your business is taking off and doing. You're an entrepreneur, right? But certainly it has this journey has its roots. As you were saying, your great grandfather came to America. This was over 100 years ago, right?
Early 1900s.
Early 1900s. But he was an entrepreneur himself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he had his own journey, and I'm sure you get your inspiration from him.
Yeah, he actually ran one of the largest catering companies in the Bronx. It was called Byron's Catering. And food is just, in my family, food is the way we love. We're all very passionate about our taste buds. And whenever we get together, if we're not breaking bread, then it's something missing. And so I just feel like it's meant to be.
Yeah. Now, here's what's funny, because before the family recipe of the tea became commercialized, I mean, this was just something that, was just passed down through the family at the family gatherings. So do you still, when you have those big family gatherings now, do you still make it, in-house, or is it commercialized and you bring it to the table from the company?
So it's actually funny you asked that question. The tea is still the talk of the dinners. And you gotta roll up the sleeves and do it home style.
Yeah, home style
for the family gathering.
Oh, so I'm like, how do you do it now?
They won't have it any other way.
Do you bring it from the factory?
No, they would not. They wouldn't have it any other way.
I love it. So fast forward, because your great grandfather said that this recipe is to be sold, not told. And so where did the idea come about that you would pitch this your business to Kevin Hart, certainly there was someone who knew someone who got in touch with him, and you made it happen. But where did this idea first come from that you would pitch it to someone like him to make an investment in you?
Kevin is somebody that I've always admired his hustle. That man works harder than anyone I know outside of myself.
Yeah.
And I just felt like if I could just get in front of him and share my story, that it would resonate. And I got my elevator pitch, got my 15-minute shot, and told my story. I was super nervous.
Yeah.
But
I can only imagine. It's Kevin Hart. Did he make you laugh during it?
Of course, the entire time. But it's, there was an opportunity presented, and I got in front of him and shared my story. He tried the product. He loved it.
Yeah.
And he was in. And from that point, he's been nothing short of supportive through this whole journey.
Yeah. But not everyone is able to get in front of someone who has a big celebrity status in Kevin Hart. I mean, he's busy acting and shooting commercials and, being a comedian. He has shows. How do you get a chance to get in front of him?
For me, whatever you put energy on, whatever you set out to do, I've been one to never take no for an answer. And if you don't have the authority to give me the yes that I'm looking for, then I kindly ask for a manager, or I've got to get to the decision makers. And so I just think that it was just me being determined to get in front of them and not have it anyway. Yeah.
And how's that relationship been? What has his support and his investment into you and your company been like when it comes to the way you operate now?
So as far as my partnership with Kevin Hart, it's more than anything else, it's opening doors. It makes it a lot easier to get into doors that I would not necessarily have been able to get into. So access and opening doors has been tremendous.
Yeah. And certainly when he has come out on his social media and his platforms to be able to talk about you and the tea and what it means, what is that? Again, do you pinch yourself is this really happening? He has millions of followers.
Yep. So it feels good to, after putting, mind you, I've been at this for going on 13 years now.
Yeah.
And so I've worked really, really hard for this. And so my feeling is, it's okay, so this is my time. And finally, the moment is here where I have the platform. And so that's what it feels like. Platform. And it just, for more people to know and be aware of the product, and that are going into Target, because that's where you can find it right now, every Target in the country. And that's the part that is, those moments like that, that's when I pinch myself. To have made it into 2,000 Target locations and a national opportunity for distribution, those are the unreal moments. And it makes it easy for people like Kevin Hart and other supporters to let their following know you can go to Target. The fact that the product is accessible, that's the pinch myself moment for me.
Let's talk about the actual tea itself and the flavors. So you have sweet tea, you've got the unsweet, and then you have a new flavor we'll get to in just a moment. But talk to me about the ingredients, or because your mission, your goal is to make sure that you're putting out healthy, all natural, right? So talk to us a little bit about the product and what we have here.
So we've got our Ellis Isle Original, which is the recipe that was passed down by my great grandfather.
Okay.
And I'm really excited about all the flavors, because all of our stuff is steeped by hand. So we're not using tea flavored syrups. We're actually hand steeping hibiscus, rose hips, peppermint leaves.
Nice.
And then we sweeten with cane sugar and then a little bit of honey. And then this one has got hibiscus, rose hips, peppermint leaves, no sweeteners.
Right.
So it's just herbs and water. It's got a good tart flavor to it. This
Okay.
one's really sweet, really smooth, and it tastes good. It feels good going down.
Okay.
And then our newest innovation, wet sugar. So this one is
Wet sugar. Okay.
yep, wet sugar.
And the name.
Yeah.
Tell me, where did the name come from?
It's we wanted to have some fun,
Okay.
and we wanted it to relate to the ingredients that are in it. So this one is sweetened with 100% cold pressed cane juice.
Okay.
And so
And this one just came out early May, right?
yep,
Okay.
this is the one we launched at. You can only find this one at Target.
Okay.
Target and then Amazon as well.
Right.
And so it is
Not
100%.
at Home Depot parking lot.
Right. At some point, you might be able to go into Home Depot and
Yes,
find it as you're
right,
checking out. We're
right.
working on that. But this one is sweetened with 100% cold pressed cane juice. So
Okay.
it's plant based. It's vegan.
Okay.
It's zero added sugar.
All right.
The sugar content literally comes from grass. It tastes really good.
Really? From grass?
So sugar cane.
Yes, the sugar cane.
Which is the base ingredient in processed sugar.
Okay.
It's just the healthy part of
I
cane,
love
the
it.
natural, yeah. And so we literally take the cane
Mm-hmm.
and we press it and extract the juice, and that's all we sweeten with. So this is just herbs and water, and it tastes amazing because we believe
Nice.
that good flavor shouldn't kill you.
Yeah.
And so what the market has to offer is you're super healthy or you're super tasty. So
Okay.
you've got your Honest Teas of the world, which are really healthy. And then you've got your Arizona Teas of the world, which taste really good, but then it's not healthy at all. And so with ours, this is the first
The shade.
no shade, but ours is it's got both.
Okay.
It feels good, it tastes good, it's healthy, just all around feel good flavor.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. So, operationally,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, certainly it's night and day from how you started to where you are now. Talk to me about operations and what that looks like, staff, and just how it all comes together.
Mm-hmm. So as far as the pandemic is concerned, that has had a tremendous effect on all small businesses, and staffing has been tough. We've been very lucky to maintain the staff that we have, and they seem to love their jobs. That's what they tell me, and they're still here.
Yeah.
But it's been a challenge onboarding, but we're very lucky. But staffing has been a challenge that's across the board, not just for us.
Yeah, and absolutely. And as we get out of this pandemic and people return back to work, I'm sure the economy will certainly pick up for all small businesses. That's what we hope, and hope for you as well. I just want to piggyback to the Kevin Hart for a moment, because I was reading somewhere where you said that the whole idea for you meeting Kevin Hart, you kind of go back and forth. You thought it was crazy and awkward. But nonetheless, you still followed through.
Yeah, I felt a little crazy flying out to California the way I did, and just kind of showing up. And I wasn't sure if he was going to sit with me or not, but he did. And he felt my passion, and he had a great appreciation for my story. And so he wanted to support and see how he wanted to participate in letting the world know about the products.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is your message to other entrepreneurs in general, but also to Black female entrepreneurs who hope to follow in your footsteps?
So my motto for success has always been pray like everything depends on God and work like everything depends on me. And I asked myself the question when I started, if there was no such thing as money but I had to work, what would I do? Like, what would I do for free? And entrepreneurship is my freedom, because that's my motivation for all of this. I just want to be free and fulfill my purpose. And so, that's what I would ask myself, because entrepreneurship is no easy path, and it's got to be passion. It's got to be, like, all of my decisions I try to make out of love. Yeah. Yep.
I love it. I love it. And for anyone who's interested, they can purchase Target.
Yep, Target and Amazon.
Amazon.
Yep, for all three flavors. We've got our Ellis Isle Original,
Okay.
our Unsweet, and then Wet Sugar.
I love it. I love it. Well, all the best to you and business growth. Great things happening this year and for, I'm sure, the foreseeable future. And finally, before we leave, what do you want the story or headlines to be written about you 20 years from now?
In 20 years, the headlines should read something to do with impact. My mission is global impact, and positive global impact for people who look like me. Headlines should read something along those lines.
I love it. Well, I'm sure it will. And much success to you on business growth. I love this Detroit story, and people need to know who you are. Naila Ellis of Ellis Island. Thank you so much for coming through Ellis Tea. And you can find out more about this story at MichiganChronicles.com. Thanks so much for coming through.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks for
it.
having me.
Absolutely. I'm Andre Ash, Michigan Chronicle.